Hey guys, I'm Jay, and this is my level guide on Arcane Odyssey. I was looking around a while ago and I saw that there wasn't actually a full complete level guide from levels 1 to 125, so I decided might as well make it. So first things first, we're going to wake up on Dawn Island, and most of the early game we are just going to be following the main storyline quests, so we're going to go up this hill and go talk to Morden. Now, one of the first things I recommend doing once you make your save is that you should go into your settings and change your dodging method from double tap to either shift or both. This way you can just press shift on your keyboard instead of having to mash your W key to dash around. This will help way later on, so that way then you can get used to it and be pretty good at dodging. Another thing I can recommend early game is to 100% complete Dawn Island. It doesn't give much XP, but it's a little bit, and it can boost you at least 1 or 2 levels later on. After that, you should start your way and head to Redwake. Redwake is the first major town in the game, and it's where we're going to get some of our early game quests, so we're going to head there now. So once you make it to the docks of Redwake, you're going to see that your quest marker is on this girl who is sitting under the steps. When you go up and talk to her, she's going to tell you that she's hiding away because pirates are invading the town, and you're going to say you can handle it. You can also pick up some of the loot beside her, but this is going to be our first experience with combat in the game. I'm going to skip over it as it's not really that interesting, but yeah. So from here, we're going to be heading off to the Redfin, which is the inn in the town. After you kill all the pirates, you can go there and talk to the lady on the bottom floor. You'll basically just talk to her, and then she'll let you stay in the room up top after you just save the town. I'm gonna skip ahead here, so we don't have to sit through like the really... It's not long, but it's like a little scene between when you go to bed and wake back up. But you'll level up when you wake up, and then you can head outside. The next quest that you're gonna have is to go talk to her again, but then after, you're gonna go talk to the leader of Redwake. When we talk to him, he's basically just going to tell us that this townsfolk need help, and, now we get access to doing quests in Redwake. So now that we can do quests in Redwake, one of the first quests I recommend doing is going to talk to the chef. He's basically going to task us with cooking him a meal, and he'll give us some ingredients. You can basically throw whatever you want into the pot and then cook it, and hand it back to him, and he'll give you some XP and some galleons for it. This is also introducing you to the cooking mechanic in the game, which is really good and allows you to make food that can give you stat buffs and stuff. So you see here I got invigorating, which makes it so I use less stamina. Next we're going to talk to this lady and go look for her lost necklace. It always spawns in the same place, so we're going to head over here, and it's right behind these boxes. After that we're going to head up here and we're going to talk to this guy. He's going to give us a quest to go beat up the Jaws pirates who are inside of a storage facility. We're going to head there now after we turn in the necklace quest, so we can get some XP and some galleons. Once we get to the storage facility, we're basically going to beat up the Jaws pirates, and afterwards, feel free to loot it so you can get some decent gear early game. After this, we're going to actually go head over here, and behind this house is the 5th quest in Redwake. You only need 4 for the storyline quest, but you can also do this one, which is the fishing quest. The fishing quest is a repeatable quest, which is why I like it. So you just take out your fishing rod that you get from her, and you can just fish here. Once you fish up 5 fish, you'll get some XP and some money for it. So you'll see here, now that I'm finished fishing, I get my rewards, and I can leave. The next quest, considering that we're around level 7 or 8 now, is going to be the Bandit quest. The Bandit quest is a quest where we boat off to a distant little island and we beat up all the bandits there. So you'll see here we get the quest from this guy. It is repeatable, so you can grind this quest if you want. And then we're going to go head this way. First off though, we are going to go turn in our quest for beating up the Jaws pirates earlier. And considering that the other quest is in this direction too, we can just jump off the ledge here and start boating over. So once we get to the bandit camp, you're going to want to aggro all of the bandits, which may seem like a bad idea at first, but this tactic really helps. So by luring all the bandits all close together and then blowing up an explosive barrel, it can kill them all at once and completes the quest for you too, which is what I did right here, and yeah. Now that we're back at Redwake, we're at level 11, so we could do the bandit quest again, but instead we're just going to go fight the Hermit. I'm going to go finish up the last quest that I had, and now we're going to go fight the Hermit. So the Hermit is the first major boss in the storyline, and you can find him right over here on this island that I'm heading to right now on the story marker. And when we get there, he's going to challenge us to a fight. So yeah. Some of the tips I have for this fight is that the Hermit will always throw down a cloud of poison before teleporting directly on top of you. So use that to your advantage, whether it be to dash away and then attack him, or to just hit him head on. The other thing is that when he's dashing around, there's a chance that he will swing his sword, so try to keep your distance from this boss. After that, you beat him, and then you just tell him to leave. Afterwards, just feel free to loot his house. That's what I do here, to get some quick money and loot. After that, we're going to head back to Redwake, and we're going to go talk to the leader once more. So, now that we're done with Redwake, we can head over to the shipwright. Hopefully we have some money saved up, and we can buy a sailboat. This is going to help our travels to get to Frostmil, as Frostmil is decently far away, and it's way faster to use a sailboat than it is to use the rowboat to get there. So, yeah. Another thing that I do, I cut it out of the video, but you can also do cargo when you're doing this. So if you have any extra money, spend it on cargo, maybe pick up some of the explosive barrels, and then head your way over to Frostmil. Once you make it to Frostmil, I already sold all my stuff, but we can continue the storyline. Once you talk to this guy, he's basically gonna tell you that there's some bandits and stuff going on around Frostmil and that we have to do something about it. So, we're gonna head over here and we're gonna get some more quests from the residents at Frostmil. One of them to beat up the bandits, some of them to just go talk to some other people. And we're gonna go talk to the mayor as well. Once that's done, we're going to go talk to this guy right here, and he's going to give us a quest to go find his lost book. His book is right here on the edge of the island. I don't know why he was reading and how he got his book lost over here, but it is. So we're going to go grab it for him. Once we turn in that quest, we can head up the mountain a little bit and go fight the bandits. I think right here I make a quick stop to talk to the enchanter so I can get his level, but after that, so here you can see my side quest and my storyline quest are the exact same thing, to kill the bandits, so I start heading there now. This is one of the places that you can super jump a lot at, but instead you can just climb if you want. After this, again, we are going to use the explosive barrel technique, where we bring them all pretty close to an explosive barrel and then set it off to kill them all really quickly. You'll see here I didn't really get them all, so I have to 1v1 a couple of them, but it's nothing too difficult. After this, we're going to go back down and talk to the mayor again, so we can complete that storyline quest, and we can start the next one. So around level 20, we unlock the ability to go into the Frostmil Cave to go beat up the ice smugglers, which is the quest we're going to be doing a lot of. So I'm going to run it a couple times right now just to get some levels before Iris, but you guys don't have to if you feel confident enough to go fight Iris right away. So Iris is the first boss that we have that uses a special magic. She uses the Flare Lost magic, which is unique to her. And it's very strong, has really good DOT, and she usually uses a lot of blast attacks and explosion moves, so try to keep your distance. You'll see here that I got her into the water and killed her using an electric explosion, but it's best to fight her on the top of the mountain. After that, I head over here and I go talk to her. I am going to be skipping over most of the storyline dialogue so you guys can experience it yourself, but yeah. After that, we're going to be met with the first level requirement, which is Ravenna's Secret. You need to be level 40 to continue the story. So what we are going to do is we're just going to be grinding the Bandits quest inside of the Ice Mines, as it's the best quest that we have access to at the moment. After that, another quest that you can do is go talk to the Enchanter to try and recruit him to your ship. By going to 3 different islands and finding 3 different sources of materials from pine cones, clams, and watermelons, you can get him to join you and your crew. After you complete that quest, you may level up a bit, but again, it's still the best quest to go do the bandits. After you're level 40, what I recommend doing is heading to either Palo Town or the Steep Steps straight away, because this way you can get your spawn set over there, and I can show you the next best way to grind XP. So you see here, we make it to Steep Steps, and then we meet Ren. Ren is this guy who's just sitting here at the bottom of Steep Steps who tells us to head up them, and to be careful as it's pretty dangerous. Right here, I am going to showcase a way to get up any sort of object really quickly, where you can just practically wall jump by T-jumping between each platforms as long as they're pretty close to each other. After that, we make it all the way up Steep Steps, and we are in the Sky Islands. So some of the quests up here are pretty simple, like finding a treasure, picking up sky apples, and other ones too. But the storyline quest requires us to go back down to speak to Ren after it will set our spawn into the Sky Islands. After a little bit more of the storyline, we can finally begin to do one of the best ways to grind XP now. So after we do some of these quests, which is repairing a bow, picking up the sky apples, and also finding a hidden treasure, we can skip out entirely on the Snow Mage battle quest. It used to be the best quest in the game for XP, but after the nerf, it is not worth doing in the slightest. Alright, so once we're done there, we're going to spawn a skyship, and again, we're going to dig for treasure, and then hand it back in this quest. So, the whole reason why we spawned in the skyship is just because for spawning it in, you get some XP, which is pretty nice. So, yeah, use that to your advantage. Right here, you're going to see me, don't do the Sky Wizard quest, Snow Wizard quest, it's not good anymore. So, instead, what we do is we take the skyship, and we're going to go down into the clouds. Below the clouds, and below Citron, the Sky Island, is White Summit. White Summit is the place that is for the Assassin's Guild. But by making a spell, you do need to have 70 in magic to do this, sadly, but by making a spell with 2 duration explosion spell as a pillar, you can deal the maximum amount of damage and hit him through the ground without even having to fight him. The boss that we're going to be fighting is Morden, and as so, we're going to be cheesing him, because he is level 300. So you're going to come over here by this patch of snow, and then use your new pillar move. and then you're going to T-jump onto this ledge. From here, you just stand still, use it, they'll walk up to you, take damage. You repeatedly do this, and eventually you'll kill them and level up. You'll see here on my first kill I actually got the Sanguine, which is a really good dagger. Afterwards, another way to level up if you don't have 70 in magic, or if you're going a different build, is that you can head back to Palo Town and do the quests here. The quest that I highly recommend doing the most is the Banana Quest. The Banana Quest is a repeatable quest where you go to Limestone and you pick up 7 bananas, and then it completes. And it gives some really good XP considering that it gives more than fighting the Snow Wizard now. So, those are the 2 best ways to grind mid-game. This is kind of the most grindiest part of the game, which is why I do recommend doing the Architect one instead, as it gives way more XP. But this way is also pretty good. After that, we can continue with the story. You'll see that I continue the story at level 73. This is just because I want to go to Fort Talos and then not have to do any grinding. So once you get to this part of the Sky Islands, which will be marked on your minimap, you can begin beating up these Order members. After you do this, you'll get a cloak, and you should bring it back down to Ren at the bottom of the steep steps. After this, we're going to go head over to a tree where Ren will be waiting for us again. So once we do meet Ren, I recommend heading to the armory inside of the Sky Islands to buy some armor. Iron armor should be equipable at this point if you grind to level 50, but other than that, it's time to go fight the first major difficulty spike in the game, which is Elius. So we're going to land on this island, which is to the left of the island where we meet Ren with the tree, and then we're going to have a cutscene where we have to duel Elius. Elius is a pretty fast-moving boss, and my only tips are that destroy the pillars so then you can predict his movement more easily, and learn to dodge. He moves really quickly, and in the second stage he does get really strong. You'll see here that I barely even won that fight, and this was on my 3rd attempt at this save. So, if you can't do it the first time, just try again. After that, you're going to talk to Iris, and she's going to basically be departing for the time being. At this point in the game, it's going to tell you to reach Sailor's Lodge. I don't recommend going to Sailor's Lodge until a little bit later in your levels, as it can be a little bit difficult. So instead, you'll see here that I enchant and upgrade my gear, and then I head back down to White Summit to go fight the Architect again. This is going to be the main grinding method, and if you do want to, you can technically do this grind from level whatever till max, but I kind of find that boring, so I only did it for most of my grind at least. So I start heading to Sailor's Lodge at level 88. This way I can perfectly, once I'm done with Fort Talos, I can reach level 93. 93 is the requirement to head to Ravenna, which is the next major grinding area in the game. So you see right there in the distance is Sailor's Lodge, where we finally get to meet Morden again, and we're also going to pick up some of the easy-to-do quests on the side here. So a lot of the quests in Sailor's Lodge have you doing really menial things like fishing or just moving a few inches to go pick something up. But they do give some decent XP, so I do recommend doing them so you can just get them out of the way. But other than that, there isn't really much to do at Sailor's Lodge, which is why I highly recommend grinding before you come here. After this, we'll meet back up with Morden, and then we'll be tasked with talking to a bunch of the people at Sailor's Lodge. After we talk to him and return to Morden, he's basically gonna tell us that he's gonna be meeting us at Port Talos. The idea is that we're gonna be going in there to find some guy named Bringer, or Bringer. I don't actually know how to say his name, but we're gonna go in there to bust him out. Fort Talos is pretty close to Sailor's Lodge, but if you get too close to Fort Talos, they will start shooting their cannons at you, so I highly recommend having a really fast boat, or just don't get too close to the island. After that, you're going to come around to the side of this island and go inside this little hole where we can meet Morden once again. After that, we're going to have to stealth our way through Fort Talos. And once we do that, we're going to have to do it a few more times to find out where they're holding Bringer. After that, we're going to walk into his room, find him, and I'm going to skip over that part as well because this is mostly storyline stuff. After that, we will need to fight General Argos, who is the 4th major boss of the story and is the general of Fort Talos. He has some really nice drops if you want to farm him, mostly focusing intensity and on defense. General Argos has 3 phases. In each phase he uses different moves and abilities, but most notably he has a very big AoE attack. After the fight's over, you're going to need to flee from Port Talos and then head back to Sailor's Lodge. At this point, you'll be roughly either level 93 or 94, and that means you can head straight to Ravenna. Now, in my personal opinion, Ravenna is the easiest grind of the game, where instead of having to do anything difficult or go across to many different islands, most of the quests in Ravenna are contained within itself. 2 of the major quests that are repeatable in Ravenna are to find tomatoes and to pick up items on the shoreline. When you do those, then you'll be able to get some really good XP, 6k and 7k respectively, as well as you can do the Thermal Fist quest without even needing to get Thermal Fist, and you can do this quest where you go find a person's missing bag. Another quest that you can do later is that you can start fighting some of the people around Ravenna, but that's at level 105. So you'll see here that most of my grind in Ravenna revolves around running around the edge of the island, picking up stuff, finding tomato plants, and just doing whatever. Again, Ravenna is a very simple grind in this game, and it's probably going to be here for either the longest while or the shortest while. You can also pick up a fishing quest, food quests, and other things like that. I just didn't do it because I didn't want to. So this is basically the part of the video where I can just tell you how long this stuff took, as we're just going to leave this running in the background, but it only took me, on this save, 5.5 hours to get to max level, which is really good considering that the Snow Wizard quest doesn't exist anymore. So using that to your knowledge and knowing now this guide, feel free to do this yourself so you can max out those saves, and even if you aren't playing a second save or anything like that, it still is nice to be able to level up quickly or have a new way to make some really fast money. So basically all you're going to want to do is grind until you hit level 115, which at this point, if you just do the storyline, you'll be able to hit max level in no time. So if you're either level 115 or 116, just do the entire Ravenna storyline. From when I make it to Ravenna, I don't do the storyline just because 1, I want to be able to do the missions here, and then 2, because I just find it easier to do it all at the end. So, as you can also see, all this save, by the time I made it to the King, I was level 120, which is amazing, considering the fact that the King is a fairly difficult boss, and being a high level is really nice to take him on, because then you get access to more abilities. So after you beat the king, all you really need to do is follow the main storyline, and when I hit max level personally was the moment that I made it to the edge of the cliff in the Awakening on Mount Orpheus. So you'll see here, I just kind of super jump up, and the moment that I make it to the tile, boom, now I'm max level. Which is amazing in my personal opinion, because that means that this guide is really good, and it gets you through the entire story too. But that's really all I have for this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed this guide and find it useful. And I'll be sure to update it if any of these things get patched. Thank you for watching.